Alrighty guys, welcome to Trend Bender. First video on Trend Bender. New algorithm, okay, and before we dive into it, we have a waitlist open in the description right now. It's going to be $129 a month, one-time payment of $15.49 if you'd like. And the monthly spots are capped at 100. Lifetime spots are capped. I'm not going to tell you, but it's not even close to 100. It's not many at all. So waitlist on that. Plan is probably a couple weeks for the release date, end of the month. Anyway, let's dive in. So we're going to be backtesting here just to show you some of the results here. 42 range chart, MNQ. This is not the final copy. This is actually just a beta copy almost, guys. But we're going to dive into the strategies, show you what we got here. We have filters, the same as always with our SBS and stuff like that. There's going to be no indicator filters, so we are taking that out. We're going to be using a 1-to-1 risk reward here, 500 risk per trade just for this demo. Stop loss ticks 300 and 0. We're not going to use a trailing stop. Our trend strength, this is new specific to Trend Bender, is 60, max contracts of 80. Select, there we go. We're not on sim, we're on playback. There we go. And enable. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Very straightforward. All right, we're gonna start this up here. We'll fast forward here. Remember, playback always does have some issues, right, with like just general playback errors where you'll have to flatten. Anyway, diving into kind of some of the logic of Trend Bender. I'm not gonna give away all the details, but it uses kind of the four EMA, SMA lines on the screen. We use a 200 SMA and EMA and a 90 SMA and EMA. Okay. It also takes into swing points, which I don't have a swing point pivot indicator on the screen, but as many of you know, with SBS, we have swing points indicator. It takes that into account here. I just don't have it visually shown. And as well, it takes into the trend and momentum and volume. Okay. I'm going to leave it at that for now because I don't want to give too much away, but just know it does take into account these EMAs and SMAs as well as swing points and overall trend. Okay, swing points and overall trend. But yeah, guys, there is going to be a wait list. Okay, so in the description, there is $129 per month option. I wanted to price it cheaper because I don't want people to have to choose between SBS and Trend Bender. If you want both, you should be able to get both. So I tried to price it a little cheaper. So hopefully you guys enjoy that, okay? On the June contract, we did have our developer test 600 risk per trade, which is a little high, but it made about $17,000 of profit in the June contract. So we're testing part of the June contract here. And here's one of our first trades. So again, we're just going for 1R here. And we had a long with a stop loss. It went pretty fast. Stop loss was down here. Take profit just 1-to-1. So we did end up making 500 there. Okay. And at this point, you know, it's 11:15 here. You could call that a day if you'd like. Again, I'm not going to dive into too much of the trade logic. I'm just more of going to show it working a little bit today. But yeah, it takes into account EMAs, SMAs, overall trend, and momentum and volume a little bit. So very good though. I didn't want people to have to choose between SBS. So again, hopefully you guys can use both. I think they complement each other. They're similar in some ways. They're different in other ways. They take different trades. So yeah, should be very, very good. Up 500 here. That is 1R. And again, waitlist in the description. So there's going to be a link for the monthly, link for the lifetime. The monthly is capped at 100 users. Lifetime is capped at, I'll tell you, it's below 40. Okay. So you should be able to get it if you want it. Okay. It's just if it starts blowing up and, you know, sending other people online, whatever, then it will fill up. So just be aware of that, guys. Besides that, though, that is the gist of Trendbender. I'm hoping we'll leave it for a few more trades or another trade or something. It made $500 today, which as is shown on screen, it's up 500 now. So it had one winning trade today. Today is the 3rd of June. It also had a winning trade yesterday morning, and then a losing trade, and then another winning trade. So 2 wins, 1 loss with a 1-hour strategy. We were up 500. So, and that was left on all day. Overall, really, really good results. Again, 17,000 for the June contract. You can't complain with that. Even if you are using half that, so 300 risk per trade, cut your profits in half, you're making $8,500, $8,500 on the June contract. So a couple $1,000s a month, which is phenomenal, right? A few $1,000s a month. And if you multiply that on multiple accounts, or you lower your risk even more to really make sure you're not blowing an account, and then spread that across 10 accounts, now you're making a ton of money. So should be really good for prop firm accounts. A little bit more, not shooting for the moon. It's still not a high frequency trading algo. So it's not going to be taking 100 trades per day. Here's our second trade, and then our third trade. Both losses there. So again, not going to win every trade. And I did have it enabled at 9:30. You guys know I always preach 9:35. So both of these trades, we were before 9:35 in the morning. I just have it at 9:30 a.m. For default here. I always preach 9:35, right? Let me see if I can pull up the screenshot of the performance for the June contract as well. I have it right here on standby. So I'm going to pull this up just to show you guys kind of what the equity curve looks like. Here's another trade, 1-to-1R. That was a winner. So now again, overall we're break even. We've had 2 wins so far. We've had 2 losses so far. If you turn it on after 9:35, we'd be up 1,000 so far. So 2R. So it does depend on when you start in the bot and all that, right? Let me see if I can do this. Oh, another trade. Here we go. Winner. So we're now up on the whole break even on the day, up on the session. So again, if you started after 9:35, you can see how impressive it's been already. 3 wins, no losses after 9:35. That includes yesterday. Anyway, let me show you this. So display capture here. This is our equity curve for the June contract, starting March 17th to the 9th. Okay, so nice smooth up equity curve, and that's that all the way up to about $16,000 or $17,000 peak, ended around 16,000. Okay, beautiful. We'll leave it run for, I want to see one more session here. Again, I would always start algos probably 9:35. You guys know I preach that with SBS, so it's going to be good. And I think the best way you're going to want to run this is low risk per trade. So I know a lot of people do, trade high risk per trade, and that's fine. If you want to maybe pass an eval quick, there's better ways to pass evals. I would just buy a few accounts, YOLO them on news, long and short, and then just trade the fundeds. Once you have, I would say, 3 to 5 funded accounts, what I would do is trade 100 risk per trade, or maybe 150 risk per trade, and just copy trade those accounts if you'd like, or use them on some other charts. But say you copy trade them, you just go for 1 win a day. That's $150 a day, maybe 2 wins per day. We'll just say 1 win for this case. 150 on each account times 5. You're looking at a good day. Average that out over a month, and you're looking really good, right? So take that for what you will, but that's how I would personally run this: is get the funded accounts, just kind of skip the evals if you can. Once you have the funded accounts, that's when you size down and you play the long game, right? If you size down, play the long game, and you run it for 2-3 months, that's when you're gonna start hopefully seeing that nice equity curve. The people who only run it for a week, you're bound to fail. Okay, if you want to join this algorithm, join the group, and you're only going to try it for a week, don't even bother, because you're going to waste my time, because I take time to respond to everybody, help everyone get set up personally. So if you're only going to use it for a week, go somewhere else. All right, if you're just looking for a quick try of an algo for a week, just go. If you're going to try for at least a month, 2 months, this is for you. All right, give it some time to work and you'll see the results. All right, but we're moving on to our third day. Well, I'd say this hopefully last day here we're going to show in this video. So up 500 total, we'd be up 1500 if we started from 9:35 and went the whole day. So up 1R right now, we'd be up 3R if we started at 9:35. Okay, here's our other trade here, winner, and that happened at 9:43. So again, 15 minutes into the session, you could have been done for the day there, right? So you can see how well it's been doing after 9:35, right? Obviously, you can never fully predict those first few minutes in the market open. That's why 9:35, it lets it settle a little bit. Even 9:45 sometimes is smarter. But another trade here. All right, 2 wins. I think we'll just pause the video there, so it's not getting too long. But you can see how just 1R you can make good money. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you have comments, questions, or concerns, let me know. Join the waitlist for TrendBender. All right, I'll see you.